wisdom of the past and explore its relevance in our contemporary world. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Kavya Dashoragaru onto the dais, the session chair of this plenary session. I would like to felicitate ma'am with Upavastram and a plant. Dr. A.B.S. Sastry Garu, could you please help us with this? Dr. Kavya Dashoragaru is a distinguished plant pathologist with specialization in plant pathology and tissue culture. Her academic career comprises her work and contribution in ICAR, government, Commonwealth and UN in various capacities and contributed to teaching, research, development and innovation. Presently, Professor Dashoragaru is now working as Associate Professor in Nanotechnology and Artificial Intelligence at Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. Her key area of research focuses on translation research of nanotechnology and artificial intelligence in agri-food sector. She has contributed to more than 12 countries, graduated 4 PhD scholars, and has applied patents for 5 novel products innovated by her. She is also a reviewer and on the editorial board of many reputed journals. She is also an official mentor for the STEM program both at IIT Delhi, India and Abu Dhabi. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us on this session. I would like to hand over this session to you now.
Thank you. So, good afternoon, everyone. I would be very honored to invite Professor K.S.M.S. Raghav for giving his talk. He's a Dean and Professor at Indian Institute of Technology, Tirupati, and he's basically a chemical engineer who specialized in food engineering and biotechnology. So he has obtained Vedic from Andhra University and a direct PhD, which is in a student life extremely prestigious, BTech to direct PhD from ICT Mumbai, and after completing his PDF from USA, he had a brief tenure at NIT Warangal before he joined CFTRI Mysore. So he retired there as a director and a very dynamic director. He served as Dean of Admin and Finance and Professor of Chemical Engineering at IIT Tirupati, and he has guided 25 students and currently supervising 9. In 2023, he received the Lifetime Achievement Award from International Association of Engineering and Food in Nantes. He has worked for Nasi Reliance, Vasvik Award, holds National Fellowship like FNAE, FNSC, FNAS, and has over 170 publications, 28 international patents, and 55 Indian patents. So it's an honor to welcome you, Professor Rao, and we are just looking forward to your talk.
Thank you, Chairperson, for your kind introduction. Sabhaya Namaha, Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. So at the outset, I thank ICONBharat International Conference, Bridging Heritage, Ancient Research and Advanced Technologies. This conference organized by Srimaharshi Research Institute of Vedic Technology. So I am grateful for this opportunity to share with you. So as such, we are not directly exposed to the Indian knowledge system over the years, but we are fortunate to get this opportunity for the past 2 years to work in the Indian knowledge system related work through a project at IIT Tirupati in association with like-minded people like this. So Dr. Naren Singh is my collaborator in this project. There are several mechanical engineers and professors of chemistry also in the team. We are nothing know about the plant because one of the objective major work is regarding the plant. We have a plant scientist from Dr. Reddy from ICONBharat. Then Sanskrit, we are not even equipped to read and decipher the technical meaning of the Sanskrit literature. So we had a collaborator from National Sanskrit University. And one of the objectives was the ancient arts in the name of Kalankari. So Dr. Niranjan, so he is fourth generation artist in the same area near Kalahasti. He is our collaborator because this Kalankari art is very ancient, but British people discouraged because it is giving a serious competition for their textiles. So they stopped this and they discouraged, and the stories goes that many of the artisans are not even allowed, they are punished for pursuing this. So, but still he is on his own, he is continuing that. We are glad that we could hire him as an artist in residency at IIT Tirupati. The basic objective of our IKS work, Indian art-based work, was approach in knowledge-based, Indian knowledge-based approaches for artisans' traditions. What is the traditional method they are doing? What is the relevance in terms of the modern science? This is another one thing we wanted to look at it. Another thing was sustainable agriculture and food preservation using what was reported in the ancient Ayurveda. So, with these major objectives, the sub-objectives will be characterization, standardization of natural dye. Because this Kalankari art involves natural dye preparation. That itself is a unique method that has been from traditionally it was handed over to generation to generation. That procedure involves a lot of drudgery. So we want to standardize the procedure and decipher the chemistry behind it, why particular methodology has to be adopted to do it in particular way. Then dyeing process itself is a lot of drudgery is involved. Any mechanization will, in preparation of the dye as well as dyeing will help. That's why we have been involved with some mechanical engineers. And as you know, fertilizers are indiscriminately used all over the country. China, you have seen now that their land has lost completely their productivity. So such situation should not be, it is not far off even the countries like India, because still our productivity of the land is much lower than its optimum potential. That is a blessing in disguise. People criticize that you are not producing the full potential, but it is a blessing in disguise to cater for the increasing population of the country. So without pesticides and using organic fertilizers, so based on the principles of Ayurveda, that is another objective. So employing this farm level, this farmer whatever is produces at national level itself, 30% of our produce is lost as spoilage. So even farmer, for him it is a big loss. So we wanted to utilize whether he can use this farm level itself, solar processing, so that he will extend his shelf life by some time till he transports to the place of utility or storage or even for the selling. So this is one of the idea. Ultimately documentation, dissemination and training and encouraging the rural entrepreneurship. So that is the training is a major component of this project. Look at the dye preparation. This is the typical preparation which I am trying to explain, in which the palm jaggery is involved and rusted nails they put. So what is the application of these rusted nails in this solution? So to increase the extraction of the dye. So that has to be our chemistry colleagues are deciphering that. So perhaps it is changing the pH or even bioavailability. When you consume honey for its iron, To increase its bioavailability, we add citric acid. Lemon also will squeeze, so that increases the bioavailability. So similarly, perhaps something for the ferrous it is doing here. So still they have not come out the final result. So this is another Madar roots. These are the botanical name is Rubia tinctorium. This color laboratory, our students have standardized this procedure for extraction and compare what they are doing. So in the typical in the process, small tweaking, adding of alum has significantly increased the intensity of the color. This increase in intensity, alum, you know, it is a coagulant. Even in your turbid water, to just make it pure, we will put alum and immediately it coagulates and you will get a settlement at the bottom. So similar thing must be having the suspended solids and the components which are reducing the hue of the dye is being taken out. That's why the color intensity is increasing with this. Solar drain, it has been very much in the market also, people are using it. But the way there it has certain issues still to be addressed. For example, off-season we cannot use, nights it is not useful, and high cost. If you see any of these 5-star hotels, there will be a dishes at the top which will converge the sunlight and focuses to generate hot water and steam. That they will use for the laundry purposes. Similar things are there even for food and other applications also, people are doing it. The cost component is the main drawback here. The dish costs at least 1.2 crores like that. So which is expensive. So with this intention, our colleague at Mechanical Engineering, Dr. Bala Subramanian, he has come out with a low cost material for preparation of the this dish, which is significantly lower. From crores it comes down to lakhs. It is costing us rough estimates. The preliminary proof of concept is succeeded and preliminary estimate showed around 10 lakhs. So that was a significant reduction. Now the design, CAD design is going on for the fabrication. Another aspect what we wanted to look at it is, you use the dryers to perforated trays instead of the solid trays, using the conduction of the heat transfer. Use perforation so that you will get the convection heat transfer, so that the process will be much faster, heat transfer efficiency is much higher. And use jacketed trays so that whatever is hot water is generated, that can be circulated in the nights and the times when the weather is like this, like today, we don't have sunlight. Such kind of situation it will be useful. Another daytime, it itself generates hot air. Same hot air can be used for the drying medium. Truncated core also we wanted to have a simple rural design where it is tracking of the sun is not required, because the gapping will take care of as the sun moves at one point of time due to reflections, you will get the sunlight for the product. And also if it is made double layer and photoelectric panels, if you put, the double layered thing can be used for hot water generation. And humidity is another issue. If you dehumidify the air using adsorbents like silicon, they are very less expensive. You can just by heating, you can regenerate them. So then I can use a low temperature, low humidity drying. The moment humidity lowers in the delta gradient for the mass transfer, the moisture difference between the heating air and the product, delta C significantly increases, so increases by mass transfer. This kind of THE, it is not at the moment available in the market. This is what we want to introduce, so that these are less expensive and very friendly to use by farmers at the farm level. This is the Kalkari center where our students are visited. You can look at the procedures. So even the dye preparation and the pre-washing, and they have to prepare the drawing very carefully with the pencil shading. It's a tremendous work. We didn't realize why the cost is so high for fabric. So this is the first step involved. Then they will treat the fabrics. They do in solutions containing cow dung. Again, what is the role of cow dung? It has to be distilled in the relevance of modern chemistry. Perhaps the pH is different, or the microorganisms are doing something. Then they will give a wash with the milk and the myrobalan. So that makes the fabric hydrophobic. When they are putting the ink on the fabric, that's spreading. Because if you see the blotting paper, the moment you put the ink, blotting takes place. The blotting is avoided. And washing this fabric in a running water is a really tedious thing. We wanted to have a conveyorized machine for that. And even the drying, they are just hanging like that. So even inside color filling, it's a function of humidity. So that maybe that humidity we have to control using some of our ACs. The moment we are not accustomed for ACs, some of the ACs, if you fit it in the reverse direction, it will control the humidity. So training part is well received. Now he is artist in residence at IIT Tirupati. Several BTech students and farmers, housewives of the neighborhood, they all come for that training programs, and now it has become so popular that we are offering a 3-credit course for this, and the trained artisans are they are the teaching assistants for these programs, so they are also getting their benefit. So our third aspect of this project work was natural agriculture, traditional methods using Ayurveda. So we have similarly, we have like the IKS, we have International Institute of Vedic Sciences at SRIVT campus near Madanapalli, very close to Tirupati, maybe 3 hours drive. So there we have a Vedic scholar who has come out with a formulation. He has isolated some of the from the waste streams only. He has not used any purchased chemicals from the waste streams. He has prepared these formulations. He named it as a Gurwani. His claim was it can give this no fertilizers, no pesticides are required, and this treatment with this alone will solve the problems. So the model crops what we have taken is cotton, mirchi and onion, which has a serious issues. Otherwise also one by one I will case study I will present for each crop. So this initial trials we have done at SRIVT campus, the modern plots of 10 feet by 3 feet to prove the concept. This is Dr. Naren Singh along with me. And these are the different crops. So first thing itself was what surprised us is, for example, cotton, it prefers black soil, but it is a red sandy soil, but irrespective of the soil, cotton has grown well. So this initial results itself have encouraged us. Chairperson, please tell me 5 minutes before I will rush out. So these are the different things we have taken in a model plant at IIT because we want to do it at pilot scale. So IIT has given us about 3 acres. We made the weeding, cleaning and preparing the benching. All this preliminary treatment was done. Nursery was put. Cotton was used, sampling bags, and chilies were managed in a seedling trays, and raised beds were constructed for onion. Some of the natural colors also we wanted because this is for again required for the Kalamkari art. So Gurwani is the only thing applied at different time locations and different concentrations for this nursery. So that's what I was telling. The problem
you have 5 more.
So this is cotton has serious issues because it has a lot of pesticides and it consumes a lot of the pesticides that is produced for this. This is the germination stage. Then it is about 105 days. So whatever issues have come, the only treatment what was done is a Gurwani, and you can see the improvement in the plant. So this is about the cotton and even the mechanical thing. See, because of the stem being very weak, because it was not able to withstand the wind. Again, even such mechanical issues also when it is treated with the Gurwani, the issues were sorted out. See, Chile, Guntur is a very popular area, Sastry will know. there, they found an issue with this mirchi last year, 2 years back. That time when they referred, we took up the challenge, and the plot, which is 1 acre plot, which is among the neighboring plots, we treated with Gurwani and it survived. That means not only prevention, even the curing is possible using this formulation. That was our observation. This is the IHR sample in the trace for the chili. Even in the case of chili, only treatment will, even nutrition problems were overcome by giving this treatment. Nutrition deficiency also. Onion is another crop, as you know, Maharashtra elections are also lost because of the onion. There's a national commission was formed on onion. Incidentally, I was requested to chair the commission, the mission, national mission. So 14,000 crores is the annual loss for the country because of the spoilage of oil, onion. So that's why we have given, I selected several team along with me, and we funded the several institutes across the country, research projects. We are also one of the applicants, but I being the chairman, I opted out. I will not take their financial support. So this is what we have done for the onion. It is our model plot, and all the issues again were solved using just Gurwani only. You can see that either pests or disease or deficiencies, everything was overcome. Then after the nursery, it has to be transplanted into the real situation. That was done after 60 days of germination. Immediately mulching was carried out because moisture content is very important, so that it will retain the moisture around the root. And cold temperatures and drizzling day was selected because it gives a shock for the plant when you transplant it from the nursery to the real plant. Now this is the mechanical arrangements was done. Alternative lines we have put chili and cotton, and spacing was given good amount of spacing required for this cotton as well as this. And in between we have put this onion plants. And this is the large scale, and drip irrigation was used so that you can consume that is the corner what you are seeing is the nursery, and we have an incubation center, food processing center also has come. This is the research park of 18 acres away from the main campus of 540 acres of IIT Tirupati. In this, we are utilizing this space. Whatever is produced immediately can go.
So you will please wind up, sir.
So this is the, what I was very excited about it is, it looks that we are almost about to solve this major national problem of this natural agriculture using this Gurwani. So then there's what Kudali Mutt in Karnataka, they have given us 100 acres as a model plan to go for the next stage. So if that is proved, then we want to approach the government of India for putting into the ICAR or Ministry of Agriculture for the large-scale implementation. Thank you very much for your
Thank you, sir. It was a phenomenal insight into the traditional way of non-chemical way and the healthier way of growing the plants, and also the kalamkari art. Any woman would actually know it is one of the most premium collections in her wardrobe. So is there any question we would like to ask from Professor Rao? No? Sir, if you may permit, I have one question. I would just like to know about the residual effect, or maybe the Gurwani, no? But in the fruit, like these are the fruits which are directly consumed, like chili and onions. So do you feel that there is a residual effect in terms of organoleptics?
It is a natural material, so there is nothing harmful in this. What is available in the natural way is doing and preparing the formulation, and we are giving it the root. So it won't translate, and there is, if I use any chemical, I can say that it is toxic, but still toxicity studies we have given the lab and get it.
Organoleptics, the taste, the smell?
No, in fact taste is feeling, flavor, taste have improved, its immunity has improved, yield has improved.
Oh, I actually feel it's a
too good to believe.
Good days are ahead in terms of tasty vegetable snack.
His name is Valmiki Sudhakara, sir. He lives at the Bangalore with his doctor friend, but he visits our Vedic Institute frequently.
Is the technology or the process is confidential or open?
No, he has not yet made it confidential, but he is close to us. One of the farmers we have given, he is doing a large-scale production and selling around. He is making money. But maybe we don't know whether we patent it or just give it to government of India.
It's open for, if I have directors, can I adopt this?
That kind of thing. Yes, I think so. I will find out.
So we'll contact.
I can share the contact. Yes, please.
Namaste, sir. My name is Srimaharshi. If it is okay for you to perform this, I can actually give about 150 to 200 acres in Houston, Texas, not India.
Yeah,
you can actually
try
perform
because
this.
our association people are there in abroad also.
Yeah.
So we will attempt that. I will share your
Sure,
contact.
sir.
Thank you.
Any other question? I request Professor Sudhakara Sastry Garu to kindly come and felicitate Professor Rao.
Thank you, Professor.
After this wonderful presentation, I invite Professor N.B. Vrindavanam, who's head Bioresource Group, Dabur Private Limited. And it is a great honor to introduce Professor N.B. Vrindavanam, who was born on 31st March at Nalgonda district of Telangana state. And he has done his graduation in Ayurveda and from Osmania University, Hyderabad, and post-graduation in medicinal plants in distance learning mode. Later, after a stint of clinical practice of about 5 years, he joined the pharmaceutical sector in 1985, and to be precise, he worked for 8 years with R&D, Maharishi Ayurvedic Products, for 24 years with Dabur Research and Development Center, finally superannuating in 2017. Presently, he has obtained a PhD degree from MIT University, post-superannuation in National Resource and Sustainable Development. Professor Vrindavanam, we welcome you and we really look forward to your talk. So you have 25 minutes for talk. Your time starts now. Yes.
Students, a very good morning to all of you. Before I actually start my presentation, I need to give a little introduction to my earlier employers. Actually, now I am superannuated. Yet my association, emotional association continues. Dabur India Limited actually must be, most of you must have heard about it. The company has taken it as a mission to deliver natural healthcare solutions to every household in the country. And then Rasayana, the concept which I have remained their mainstay. It's a good company in terms of science and technology part of it. And it's the largest manufacturer of Ayurvedic medicines and healthcare products in the world, with perhaps 13 or 14 units in India and 9 units in other countries as well. So one of the important aspects of this company is, though they work on the classical Ayurvedic medicines, and Ayurveda itself is a very marketable concept actually. But despite that, they were interested to validate the concepts of Ayurveda and the products which they make, including the ingredients they use. They would always prefer to go for a scientific scrutiny, understand the inherent mechanisms of their healthcare benefits, etc., and to a possible extent, pass on this knowledge to the consumers about the benefits based upon the science. This is the kind of background. And to do this work, whatever I am going to share with you, I was involved in the biomedical research between the years 1993 to 2000. From in the year 2000, I was asked to do something else in the company. And almost this is whatever work I am going to share with you is about 20 years of work. Therefore, I am naturally anxious whether I will be able to recollect everything and then share with you adequately or not. What I would like to do is, my objective is, I wanted to talk to you about a brilliant concept of Ayurveda, the Rasayana therapy or Rasayana Chikitsa, and the Rasayana formulations and the medicinal plants identified for the purpose of Rasayana. This is first part. The second part is I would like to illustrate the brilliance of this Rasayana concept using a modern scientific investigations. What I will do is, I will do the reverse. First of all, I will narrate four case studies of scientific research on the Rasayana herbs and the formulations, solely conducted by Bala, and then followed by the explanation to the inherent mechanisms related to Rasayana. So, this is the first slide I would like to show. It is understood phenomena that all the living beings are surrounded by a bioenergetic field. This bioenergetic field, we call them, because bioenergy, continuously all the living organisms emanate some degree of radiation. And this radiation is not visible to the naked eye, neither it can be photographed by an ordinary camera. So therefore, they use the technology called a Kirlian camera. The Kirlian camera would not take your image, but it would take the entire image of the aura emanated by the living organism. So here I am showing but taking an aura is simple. Taking a photograph out of the Kirlian photography could be simple if you have the equipment necessary. However, interpreting the data, interpreting the patterns of the aura is a highly complex job, and it requires a highly seasoned expertise in the area. One professor, Edward Namo, in Russia, did this particular study for us out of his own curiosity. He is a highly qualified parapsychologist, and investing a huge amount of research and time on the study of the human aura and correlating with the human health and the psychological status of the individual based on the aura. So this is the kind of work he was doing, and when he came to know about the concept of Rasayana and its effect on the stress, he thought it would be interesting to do a study on this matter. Actually, if you look at the aura, what happens is, we all see in Hindu calendars or in pictures, we see a white radiation around the gods or the ancient rishis and sages. What actually does it mean? The white colorless aura shows a state of perfect health, what we call actually samadosha, samagnischa, samadhatu malakriya, prasanna atma indriya mana. That is the definition of a perfect health as defined in the Ayurveda Charaka Samhita. So when you are in the perfect state of health, particularly with reference to the characters, the prasanna, atma and indriya, when these three are in perfect balance, the aura would be colorless and white. Most of us, not most of us, almost every human being will emanate a kind of a colored aura, and the color patterns depict your health status. It shows your psychological status. For example, if you take my aura now, it will show highly, what I call actually, This pinkish aura, whatever you are seeing, the pinkish aura indicates the levels of stress and anxiety, while the bluish aura shows some degree of tranquility. Now, this is the after 10 days of treatment of a Rasayana product called Shilajit, the asphalt. And then after 15 days of treatment, you see the intensity of the pink aura has reduced and the blue aura improved. And that is what the Professor Edward Namu interprets, that actually the therapy with 15 days of therapy with Shilajit reduced the levels of stress in the individuals. This is the picture of this is the picture of the aura of the thumb. Actually, the aura, the thumb was placed on the camera and the aura was captured in this particular picture. Like this, he did this study on 30 patients. And how does he interpret the outcomes? It is almost, he was having a 2,000 studies aura he has studied and correlated with their psychological and mental status at that point of time. And then on that basis, this interpretation was provided to us. In the second study, we all know actually the smoking is considered to be the most worst form of the polluting the human body. You know, it causes one of the important negative effect of smoking is the damage to the chromosomes, which we call as the claustogenic effect. In this particular study, Chyawanprash was administered in smokers' population, and this effect was studied on the mitotic index, satellite associations, and the frequency of the chromosomal aberrations and system chromatic changes. See, there are three, in this you find that the first bar shows the normal individuals who are not smokers, that is the chromosomal status, and the red one is the pure smokers before the treatment, and the second part, the third bar shows the effect of Chyawanprash on the chromosomal damage. You know, you see in almost all the parameters, the Chyawanprash administration has shown that the chromosomal damage has been controlled effectively, and the outcome has been statistically significant. Now, other aspect is in the cancers. Radiation is one of the commonest approach today, and then radiation has its own degree of effect on the body. And this is a study again on using Chyawanprash in radiation-induced skin disease. Actually, in this particular, you see, there are three groups. One particular group received Rasayana, the Chyawanprash alone. Actually, the pictures are reversed over here. This first, the second picture shows the soon after the radiation. And then this is the after the radiation treatment, the Rasayana treatment. And then in the second case, it is Rasayana with vitamins and iron. And finally, in the third group, we find only the vitamins and iron. As you see, the level of injury, radiation injury, Chyawanprash treated or Chyawanprash with vitamin treated, the radiation lesions have been substantially lower. However, the one important aspect is in this kind of studies we can't go for a placebo-controlled studies because of the severity. This particular effect shows that Chyawanprash exhibits a marked cytoprotective effect on the human body. The next case I would like to narrate to you is the administration of ashwagandha in ashwagandha extract on the generalized anxiety disorder. The study was done by Professor Srimaharshi. In this particular study, the two groups of patients were administered. One group received the ashwagandha extract capsules. The other one received the placebo, equally matching placebo, and they have used three different criteria: the diagnostic and the APA, American Psychology Association's criteria for assessment of the anxiety disorders, and the Hamilton Anxiety Score, and the PGI score of the well-being. In all the three accounts, we find that ashwagandha exhibited a marked improvement post-treatment, and that is that surpasses the effect of the placebo. So, these studies indicate to you, these studies bring out a fact that Rasayana administration of the herbs or the formulations designated or identified as a Rasayana have a promotive effect on the health. They improve the positive, they improve the well-being for all the well-being factors, whether it is during the radiation injury or during a stress condition. So this is the advantage of that. Now, if you look at that, these are only four. It's only tip of the iceberg I have shown to you. There are over 1,000 papers on the biological activities of the Rasayana. The concept of Rasayana attracted the attention of the health researchers way back in early 60s, mid 60s onwards. There have been a number of scientific studies to establish the biological activities of the Rasayana. And these reports can be classified into various groups. The adaptogenic means actually it allows the administration and users allows the individuals to adapt to a newer situation, adapt to the impact of the stress and the stress. This is called the adaptogenic effect. And the nootropic effect is actually the effect on the central nervous system and the psychological parameters. This is Mecha effect we call in Sanskrit, antioxidant, and Rasayana drugs are now established to promote they modulate the immune systems. Modulation of the immune system means when the immunity is lower, it will improve and improve the resistance to the improves the resistance to the infection. On the contrary, when the immune system is working aggressively, causing to be autoimmune disorders, then it has a positive effect by reducing the level of, by tone down the immunity functions and make it more intelligent, and then anti-stress and the anabolic effect. These are the 6 effects that have been widely demonstrated. And of course, more. Now I come to the. So now the concept of Rasayana in a nutshell. Basically, Ayurveda does not require an introduction over here. The Rasayana actually is, Ayurveda has two specific mandates. The first mandate being the preventive health care. Preventive promotion of the health is the first mandate set itself for the Ayurveda. And Rasayana, it aims at the promotive health and quality life. And there are 3 different modalities of Rasayana treatment. The dietary modalities, behavioral and drug-based modalities. That is what I have described of the drug-based modalities. And we both Ahara and the Dravya Rasayanas, they have immense potential for innovations in the nutraceutical sector. So this is the basic concept of Rasayana as described in the Charaka Samhita. Dirghamayu, Smriti, Medha, Arogya, Taruna, Vayaha, Prabhavarnam, Swarodaryam, Dehendriya, Balam Param, Vaksiddhim, Pranatim, Kanti, Labhatena, Rasayana. These are the benefits of the Rasayana treatment and the mechanism. The mechanism, Labhopayam, Hi, Sastana, Rasayana. The one, any kind of intervention which will improve the circulation, which will improve the quality of the nutrition or the rasa part of it, and then that is called Rasayana treatment. So whenever the rasa formation is the first part of the metabolism, cellular metabolism, and once that is done, the rasa circulation is ensured, then these two, rasa formation and rasa circulation, these two factors hold the secret of the positive health. This is what actually Ayurveda emphasizes. And the benefits of Rasayana, they promote longevity, memory, as described in the Ayurvedic literature. It promotes longevity, memory, intellect, youthfulness, etc., etc. And the mechanism is a simple intervention in the cellular nutrition. Rasayana drugs make an intervention to the cellular nutrition. That is the fundamental underlying mechanism. And actually, what is the nutritional and intervention? Anna is the food that we take. Anna is the diet we consume. And once if it gets digested, the essence of coming out of that, the nutrient emanating out of the macro level digestive system is what we call actually the Anna. And that Anna goes to the individual cells and promotes the cellular nutrition. That is the part of that is the second most important part of it. Anna is common, the digestive fluid flow, but the nutrients that go to respective tissues, they are tissue-specific nutrients, have to go, and this is what exactly Rasayana treatment does.
So you want
this is the
now?
I will finish in just 2-3 minutes. So this nutritional intervention is a continuous process. It is incidental as well as the intentional. What is incidental? For example, it has a tremendous emotional factor. When your mom cooks something for you, she has a very clean intention that this food nourishes the kid. So that is the emotional factor of the food. That emotional factor itself produces a high quality of rasayana. So therefore, that is how we consider home food is more healthier than outside buffets. So this intervention, as I mentioned, Anna, the ahara is the food per se that we consume, and parinama bhava is the composition and processing. In this parinama bhava, only what the kind of spices that you have, the way that you cook it makes intervenes the quality of the rasa that is produced in the human body, and the quality of the agni available in the individual, the jataragni or dhapagni, and then rasayana is the one which can intervene in any of these three factors. Rasayana is a component which can intervene in any of these three components. So, and there are unique applications of rasayana as described in the Ayurvedic literature. One we call actually purposive and promotive rasayanas. The other is the naimittika rasayanas. For example, the vayastapana, anti-aging, or the major rasayana, puja rasayana. These are the, sometimes the naimittika rasayana is the biological response modifier or the cytoprotective agents which I have narrated in the cancer research part of it. So these are the illustrative list of these species. In the Nightus you find different sets of terminology. Rasayana is a general health tonic. Major rasayana is the one which promotes your intellect part of it, the nootropic or intellect part of it. Vayastapana, anti-aging, these are the different plants based upon the negative descriptions. Rasayana, Mecha, Rasayana and Vayastapana, this is the combinations of them. And there are some organ-specific, Ruja Rasayana. Consumption of Arjuna improves your cardio, acts as a cardio tonic, and it helps as a heart health part. Tvacha, Manjishta, and Rubia cardifolia, and I triphala, like that. Stanya is actually for lactating mothers. The Jivanti is considered to be an important character. Now, in the present case, now I come to the conclusions. What is the importance, or what would be the importance of rasayana? For that purpose, we need to understand the present healthcare scenario. The infections and infant mortality have come down substantially with thanks to modern healthcare approaches. And the lifestyle-related diseases, unfortunately, is going up. Autoimmune diseases are also going up. And another part is the iatrogenic problems, like the way radiation therapy. I told you these are the iatrogenic diseases are the diseases induced by the doctors and induced by the medical treatments. So then the nutritional conditions we find it. Diametrically opposite scenarios, there is malnutrition and also there is a overnutrition.
So please,
now it's last one. This is last one. Now, I would like to touch upon the Mecha, Rasayana and the cellular intellect. In this particular part, as I mentioned, in Ayurveda we consider volitional transecretion. The intellectual mistake is one of the important factors for the disease. We know overeating is a problem, overeating is not good, but we continue to overeat. This is an intellectual or volitional mistake. The same kind of mistake would happen. This is at a gross level. This is at a gross level. But at the cellular level also, volitional transgressions may take care. The example is, the cell fails to discriminate between a friend and foe. So therefore it goes to a autoimmune disorders. Then so it forgets the optimal multiplication needs. When the cell forgets the multiplication rate, it becomes a malignant and causes the cancer. And sometimes it fails to recognize the foreign proteins. Therefore, you are prone to infections. These are all the mistakes that happen at the volitional transgression at cellular level. But the question today is whether the major rasayanas can promote the cellular intellect. This is a question mark. And these are my conclusions and suggestions. The nutritional effect, I don't have to explain all those things. What I would like to suggest upon is concept of rasayana provides broader avenues for the innovations. The formulations for the immunity health, specialty nutrition and performance performance enhancers like sportsmen and athletes. And also we can design disease-specific nutraceuticals for quality of life in malignancies, renal diseases, organ transplants. These are the opportunities that we have out of the concept of rasayana. And thank you very much. Let me share with you. I knew the institution SRIVT for only a few months, and somehow or other Sastry ji reposed a lot of faith in me, and he encouraged me to dig out into my past experience. As I said, these are the works I started doing sometime in 2001. So he encouraged me to dig back into that and share these experiences. And I thank you for your patience for that.
Thank you, sir. We have had a wonderful talk on Rasayanik Chikitsa and the impact on the human body, the cellular memories. So, any question for Professor Radhamana?
Sir, you were saying the aura that is photographed, what special camera is it? There something connected to IR or?
This Killian camera, I don't know the underlying mechanism. How does it work? Actually, Killian camera, once upon a time it was available only like your ordinary cameras. These pictures were taken in a hard specialized film. These are not ordinary. X-ray film is also not useful for this purpose. Not a normal photography film will be useful. It's a specialized photography. But I don't know the underlying principle of how the Killian chromatograph pictures take the R.
Radioactive components, that's the reason government has banned something.
No, in research purposes, Killian cameras are still used. For example, while we were working with Edward Namo, I came across with another Bombay-based scientist, Dr. Meher Moose. She was also doing a similar kind of studies, but her study was on the effect of meditation on the aura. She was doing that kind of.
Thank you, Dr. M.B. Brindavan, for your insightful speech. I would like to ask Session Chair Dr. Kavya Dashura to present memento, shawl and certificate to our speaker.
Now I have the honor of inviting Dr. Sajeli Begum, who holds a PhD in medicinal chemistry from Banaras Hindu University and was working as assistant professor IIT BHU before joining BITS Pilani, Hyderabad campus in 2010. Her research focuses on discovering novel bioactive molecule, quality control and standardization of herbal product She has received DAD Fellowship for research in the University of Tübingen and INSA Visiting Scientist Award in 2008. She has guided 7 PhD scholars and currently supervises 5. She has managed projects from various funding agencies and publications and has 3 research patents. So, Dr. Begum, we are looking forward for your talk now, and your time starts now. You have 20 minutes for it, please.
Thank you, Dr. Bharat. Very good afternoon to all. I'm very much pleased and honored to take part in this iconic event organized by SRIVT, marking its Silver Jubilee celebration. I'm also very much thankful to the director of SRIVT and also the organizing team, for giving me this opportunity to share my views, particularly to share some of the basic strategies towards driving international recognition of our Indian traditional knowledge. Yeah. So, my childhood days were very pleasant, and I'm very much grateful to God for that. I always, cherish the memories. One of the cherished memories, would be drinking of kashayam. So, most of you may be aware of this kashayam, which is a traditional Siddha formulation, made out of herbs. So every Sunday morning, without fail, my mom used to give me this kashayam made out of certain herbs like neem shoots, and then dry ginger or rasambur and nutmeg, all these. So before I got introduced to these medicinal plants by learning the course pharmacognosy or advanced pharmacognosy during my bachelor's program, I just got introduced, or gained some knowledge about these medicinal plants through my mother and my grandparents. So this, kindled the interest inside me to do a research in the area of medicinal plants, particularly to know about the chemical constituents, that are responsible for the activity. Because parents, when they are giving the food, or any kind of herb or leafy vegetables, they say that, see, if you eat this, it will give you this benefit. But how does it give the benefit? What are the components that are present, that are responsible for this activity? That is not, properly clarified to a kid. Yeah. So the Indian traditional knowledge, I strongly believe in this, and it has gained a popularity worldwide. But still, you can see that it has not attained the complete acceptability as of the allopathic medicines. Because allopathic medicines, are considered to be well regulated, and there is a very stringent regulation on controlling the quality and the safety of those medicines. Yeah. So when the Ayush project products, or dealt, people say that they are not very well regulated products, particularly about the chemical constituents, or the formula are not well clarified. Yeah. So now when we, I have always wondered that, why, even though, the Ayush products, have gained popularity, but why does not gain the international acceptability? That's again, was the question, that was bothering me. I have referred to the literature, also discussed about this with the experts. So what I understood is, my view is, if we give a scientific validation, or a scientific evidence for the activity, of the Ayush product, or a scientific proof for the traditional claim, it will be acceptable. So we have to build. So the traditional knowledge, has to join hands with advanced technologies to build the trust, and this will give the international recognition. Right? So through this, we are going to give a patient safety, and always, people ask that of these medicines, are for patient safety. scientific evidences. Why do we have to bring out proof or a scientific validation using these advanced technologies? Because it's going to give the identity for the medicine. Because there are several herbs, which have very synonymous names. Okay, the regional names are very much similar, but what is that exact herb that is used, for making the formulation? That need to be identified clearly, and also to get the consistent quality of the medicine. Okay, not to have any kind of batch-to-batch variation, during the Ayurvedic or any Ayush products manufacturing. Okay, so we have to have a control. So for this also we have to use the modern techniques to deliver consistent quality medicine, and also particularly to make sure that there is no toxicity of these herbs that are used in making these formulation. Yeah. So safety and efficacy of the medicines are very important. Okay. And regulatory requirements, conforming to the regulatory requirement is again very important. Okay. There are European regulatory agencies, and also recently CDSCO, our regulatory body, has also come out with certain improved regulations, okay, for the Ayurvedic or the Indian traditional products. Okay, so we have to conform to that. For this again we have to give the proof. Yeah, so for the overall improvement of the health and the well-being, okay, so we have to work together to bring the scientific evidence. Yeah, so there are some official resource materials published by the Ministry of Ayush. Yeah. So the Ayurvedic Pharmacopoeia of India, for the formulations and for the herbs, they have published. So they have set certain set of standards. Okay, they have prescribed the standards that ought to be complied by any medicine that is manufactured by the Ayurvedic manufacturers. But according to the regulatory guidelines and pharmacopoeias, if you see, identification is majorly based on the macroscopic and the microscopic evaluation, and recently they have also included the chemical profiling of the herbal materials. So with this, they are assuring that the quality and the quality of the Ayush projects, okay, products, okay, to be controlled, and the standardization, okay, to be achieved. Yeah. So what are the major challenges, okay, related to these medicinal plants or the herbal preparations? So there are variable sources for the herbs and their chemical complexity, and we need to make the right identification of the herb, and we have to have a quality assurance of the starting materials that are used for making the preparations. So that's going to contribute to the safety and the efficacy of the final product that we make. So this is again going to validate the traditional knowledge. So all that we have to do is the quality control and then the standardization using modern analytical and molecular techniques. So this is going to give the scientific validation for the safety and the efficacy of the herbal extracts. So the point which I want to insist on, okay, this speech is development of the markers. So using a marker compound, particularly the bioactive substances as markers for the standardization of the extracts is very, very important. Okay, if we want to make our market, okay, internationalize. So there are different types of markers that are used by companies. Okay, so DNA markers are used, and this can be extracted from the fresh or the dry plant tissue, and this can be used for identifying the genetic variation, medicinal plant breeding, and also for the authentication of the medicinal plants. And the second type, biochemical markers, these are proteins or the enzymes. This again can be the enzyme pattern, okay, can be used to distinguish the closely related species, okay, and to identify the specific species that you want to use it as a raw material for your herbal formulation. And chemical markers. So authentication of the authentication of the genuine species, yeah. So you have to use a chemical marker, okay, and these markers again are useful to come out with the substitutes for the herbal materials also, because there are many species which are found to be endangered. Okay, so if you want to bring the substituent, okay, to any of the herbs, okay, then definitely you need to have a chemical marker, okay, to prove the activity, okay, or the bio-equivalent activity, okay, of the herb. Okay. So I will just describe the general procedure, how we can develop these chemical markers, okay, and you can use them for the standardization purpose. Yeah. So it's not an easy task, to isolate or purify the individual constituents from the complex extract and develop them as chemical markers. Right. So there are several extraction procedures that are in use. Okay, so you can use either a solvent extraction method or a substrate-based extraction method or microwave-assisted extraction method or ultrasound-assisted techniques or microwave supercritical fluid extraction. Or a simple distillation or hydrodistillation method will also be used for extract preparation. And when the crude extracts are prepared, then you can take it forward for the enrichment process. Yeah, that again can be done with the help of the solvent partitioning method or the fractionation method or absorption chromatography you can use, or membrane filtration techniques can also be used, okay, or solid phase extraction methods can also be used for this purpose. So now when you want to develop that marker, you have to isolate the individual components, particularly the one that has the biological activity. So for that, the scientists are majorly dependent on the various chromatographic techniques like preparative HPLC method or the high-speed counter-current techniques can be used. Or simple, sometimes, if a plant has a particular constituent, okay, in major amount, then a simple crystallization method would also be helpful. Yeah. So, to get a very pure molecule, sometimes you may have to go for the multiple times, doing the chromatography. Yeah. So, if you are focusing on to the bioactive components, then it is advisable to use the bioassay guided procedure for the isolation and the purification purpose. Yeah. So you can have the extract that is prepared using a range of solvent, yeah, from the non-polar to the polar you can have, and then you can subject it to some simple cell-based assays, okay, so to identify which solvent-based extract is found to have the activity. So once when you have identified that, then you can go for doing the fractionation using different solvents, and all these fractions can again be subjected to a bioassay, yeah, and then identify the specific isolate or the fraction that is found to have the activity. So now only this fraction, only this fraction, you can take it forward, for the chromatographic methods. So this is again going to have the bioactive substances, and these bioactive substances, isolated, can be subjected to various structural elucidation methods and can be further developed as the marker molecules. Yeah. So there are several structural elucidation techniques, okay, that are known and that can be used. So traditional ways of the chemical methods, okay, and the modern ways you can, for the modern ways, you can use various spectroscopic methods. Okay, so UV-IR spectroscopy, proton, NMR, and the carbon NMR techniques can be used. And there are some advanced nuclear magnetic resonance techniques are used. Okay, so one-dimensional and two-dimensional techniques are available, and that you can use for the complete structure characterization or the structural elucidation of the molecules. Yeah. So in the pharmacopoeia, there are some complete information. They say it is complete information, but in some aspects, the information or the standards described in the pharmacopoeia are found to be incomplete. It is again my personal view. Yeah. So about the complete information about the therapeutic uses of the drug, okay, and identity, purity, and then strength, all the information and the limitations are prescribed in the pharmacopoeia. So here I have given one example, that is Raja. So very popular Ayurvedic plant. Yeah, available as a single drug-based or single herb-based formulation, multi-herb-based formulation. So prescribed I want to insist here is, so the identity, is recommended based on the TLC method and also based on the HPLC method. But if you carefully look at the HPLC chromatographs that are presented on the right side, the figure A, B and C, okay, if you see there carefully, yeah. So it's only that one compound that is present in this extract, okay, has been identified and quantified, which is vinylolactone. But if you look at the chromatogram, there are multiple peaks in it, which comes as an evidence that this extract contains other constituents also, but which are not characterized. So, although the limit, is set based on the one component, that is vinylolactone, this extract contains several other components, okay, which might be contributing to the activity and also the toxicity, isn't it? So those need to be again quantified. One more example, okay, that is the extract of this solanum insurgens or the xanthocarbon, which is yellow very nice shade fruit. The whole plant again is recommended, okay, for various therapeutic uses as mentioned here. So here also, yeah, sure. So here also you can look at the HPLC chromatogram. This is just an extract from the Ayurvedic pharmacopoeia. The reference I have given below. So you can see here again the identification has been done, okay, for only one constituent, okay, that is sodium. Yeah. But the fingerprint, the HPLC fingerprint, if you see, there are several components, they were not at all characterized. Yeah, that would again give a significant contribution to the activity and the toxicity, right? So we have to bring out the scientific evidence, okay, for the presence of the major constituents, okay, at least the major constituents I'm saying. So if you look at the chromatogram, there are peaks, which have the intensity very much equal to that of or more than that of the solacetone, right? But those have not been characterized. So those are some lacunae, I would say, those again can be covered by using some modern techniques. So here I have a case study, where the standardization of a single herb-based formulation, okay, that is 92, and the standardization has been done, okay, based on the bioactive components, cleum, viscosins, A, B, and C. So how the characterization of this cleum, viscosin, A was done using various spectroscopic methods. As there is shortage of time, okay, I will not explain, how we have done it, but at least the techniques, that were used for the characterization of the complete structure, okay, that I will say. Please allow me a few minutes time. Yeah. So using UV absorption spectrum, we identified the presence of two major chromophores, that is the substituted fumarate and substituted benzene. Yeah, and from the IR spectrum, we identified the presence of the phenolic OH group and then the lactone carbonyls and the aromatic functionalities. And using EIMS, we could be able to determine the molecular formula. Yeah, and we went for measuring the proton NMR spectrum and the carbon NMR spectrum, okay, to know about the types of carbons that are present, okay, and also the different types of hydrogens that are present in the molecule. Yeah, so we got the proof, for the presence of the fumarate nucleus, okay, and the aromatic nucleus, and also the oxygen protons, but we could not get the proof, for the oxygens, okay, that we could identify from the mass data. Okay. So we could go for doing some simple chemical conversions, okay, to confirm the presence of certain functional groups, okay, and we could arrive at determining the part structure of the compound, and a simple double bond equivalence calculation helped us in identifying the presence of an additional ring, okay, that connected the fumarate and the phenylpropane nucleus. So, and the presence of the dioxane bridge again was confirmed based on the mass spectroscopic analysis, the various fragmentation, and this compound, we could isolate in good quantity, so we could do some chemical degradation also to determine the complete structure. So once based on the spectroscopic techniques, we identified the groups and then we built the structure. We finally, had a confusion whether the isomer A is the structure or the isomer B is the structure. To resolve this, we went for carrying out the two-dimensional NMR analysis, that is the heteronuclear decoupling experiments. So irradiating some specific functional group and with the sharpening of certain signals, we could identify the linkage and we could determine the structure. So we can use all the modern spectroscopic techniques to characterize the structure and to develop, we can develop the markers. So this will again be helpful for the identification of the adulterants and for the differentiation of the vital medicines with the multiple sources, and also for the determination of the best harvesting time, and also for the confirmation of the collection sites, and even to optimize the processing methods, and also to hold the quality of the herbal product, particularly in terms of the stability and the identity, its concentration. So everything we can do with the help of this. And we can even link this traditional knowledge to the natural products, drug discovery. We can discover drug lead molecules, and we can even develop them into an allopathic medicine also. So phytopharmaceuticals, recently approved a type of drug by the Indian regulatory agency. So this represents a fascinating intersection between the traditional knowledge and the modern science advancements. So it is nothing but a purified standard fraction with defined number of the phytochemical compounds. Minimum of 4 components need to be quantified, identified and quantified, and prove that they were the components that are responsible for the activity of this phytopharmaceutical. Then you can get an approval from CDSCO, and you can market your product. And so here I would like to
ma'am, please, we are really running out of time.
Yes, thank you. So these are some of the novel compounds that were discovered from our lab, only from the plants I have presented here. And in our lab, we are even working on exploring the bioactive molecules from various natural sources, from the microorganisms and also from the marine sources also. We are trying to explore the drug lead molecules. So I'm not going in detail to it. Yeah, so we have all the facilities, to develop a chemical marker. So in this forum, there may be some startup company, or some researcher who will be looking forward for researcher, to collaborate, particularly for the standardization of the herbal extracts. Again, herbal extracts, or complex materials, will definitely have mixture of components. But we have all the facilities, in our institute. If anybody is interested, you can contact us. I have given here my contact ID. Thank you very much for your patience.
Any questions? Thank you, Dr. Sajili Garu, for your insightful speech. I would like to ask Session Chair Dr. Kavya Dashura Garu to present memento, shawl and certificate to our speaker.
So as we come to the conclusion of this session, I'll quickly wrap up because I know it's happening between you and your lunch. So we had our first speaker, Professor K.S. M.S. Raghav Rao, And Professor Rao excited us about the IKS-based approaches and artisan traditional for kalamkari-based dye, and also he spoke about sustainable agriculture using traditional method called Gurbani. That is, he's also ready to upscale it at a larger base. Then we also had insights from Professor Vrindavana, who spoke about Rasayan Chikitsa and how the multinational companies like Dabur had been using it. Then we had Professor Sajeli Begum, who gave us a wonderful insight into pharmacopoeia and development of markers, biological markers, chemical markers for standardization of herbal medicines or Ayurvedic products. And also the bioassay process was explained in great detail. Thank you so much for your patient hearing, and I thank all the speakers for taking out time and giving us such detail about their work. So have a good afternoon, and we can collect for lunch.
Thank you, Dr. Kavya Dashuragaru, for your concluding remarks. I would like to ask Professor V. Ram Gopal Rao Garu to please come on the dais and present our session chair with memento, shawl and certificate. We conclude this session, and I would like to inform that the lunch is being served at the balcony. After lunch, we shall start our next session in the same hall. Thank you so much, everybody.
ఇప్పుడు ఈ లైవ్ అనేది అంతే ఉంచుకోండి, ఆపేయమంటారా? ఇది వచ్చిందా మళ్ళీ ఆపేసి మళ్ళీ అప్పుడు రిఫ్రెష్ లింక్ పెడతాం. ఏం వీళ్ళు అడుగుతున్నా, పక్కన వాళ్ళు అడుగుతున్నాను 6 అంటున్నారు. మా వాళ్ళేమో మరి మన లిమిట్ 3 అంటున్నాం, 3 గల్లా అయిపోయింది. వీళ్ళేమో 6 దాకా అంటున్నారు. నా పక్కన ఎవరు రాలేదు పక్కకి. ఇంకా మనం లంచ్కి వెళ్ళి వాళ్ళకి ఫ్యూచర్ ఉండాలి. ఇద్దరికి ఎవరు లేడు ఇక్కడ. ఎంబీఆర్ దగ్గర వస్తున్నారు. సర్లేండి అయితే చేస్తాను.
like